So, hello, Thomas. Thank you once again for finding time for our
Yeah,
interview.
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problems, no problems. Can you tell us a little about yourself, what you do?
Yeah, I'm at this moment I'm an Amsterdam-based writer
Mm-hmm.
in the Netherlands,
Mm-hmm.
but I was born in Nijmegen, where NEC is from, and where Matthias Ross is playing right now. I've been a fan of NEC since I've been going since to matches since I was 12. I'm 37 now, so
Oh,
25
that's
years.
so. What can you tell us about
Sure.
Matthias Ross's general progress in this season so far? What he has showcased in this season?
Um, I think he knew what he was signing up for
Mm-hmm.
when he came to Nijmegen. He's a Danish guy, obviously. I think he spoke to other Danish players back then. There's
Mm-hmm.
Magnus Madsson, who was sold to Copenhagen,
Mm-hmm.
for a record fee of 5 million, I guess. So he's gone now. He was a really great player. And Lasse Schöne is a well-known player. He played for
Yeah.
Ajax. Yeah, well, that guy. I think they convinced him to come, but I also think he knew he could become a substitute in
Mm-hmm.
Nijmegen because the two central defenders that were already here, Sandler and Nuitink, are in status higher than he is. They're quite good, especially Sandler is a really is well he's not going to be in Nijmegen for really long. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to he's set for Ajax or Feyenoord and he played in England. He's I've never seen a defender like him but that's for later. But especially Sandler is injured quite a lot. He
Mm-hmm.
came to the club injured, so they needed an extra central defender, and they found that in Matthias Ross,
Mm-hmm.
and which is also a bit weird for me that you have to get like a Danish guy from Galatasaray to Nijmegen as a substitute defender. But yeah, that's how football works these days.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the season, he played quite a lot. Uh, he's physically strong, wins a lot of duels. How do you
Mm-hmm.
call that
Yeah,
with the
duels.
head?
Mm-hmm. The
Like
aerial
he's
duels.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
he's quite in the penalty area. He's quite strong. I think I spoke to a scout about
Uh-huh.
him, and he wasn't really impressed about his he's quite slow in his
Mm-hmm.
start and about his footballing capacities. That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that good. He said, and I think I agree. But he's quite reliable.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes in, he does his job. He knows what to do. Um, and yeah, forgive me that I don't remember that. I
Yeah, no
think he
problem.
made like one quite a ugly mistake,
Uh-huh.
which
Like a
kind of,
rookie mistake.
yeah, like a dumb pass that led
Uh-huh.
to a conceding goal or something,
Mm-hmm.
which is always bad when you start. But
Yeah.
I think everybody's happy that he's here because we really needed an extra central defender because of the
Mm-hmm.
injuries. He's the only extra central defender who's an actual
Mm-hmm.
central defender because otherwise you have to play for Donk, who's our
Mm-hmm.
left back, who's one of the better players this season, to play central. But then you don't have a good left back, so
Yeah.
so it's quite, for him. It's a shame that he was injured last like 3 or 4 matches
Uh-huh.
because I think he would have made minutes because Nighting was injured as well. And it's like for NEC the season is going far above expected.
Uh-huh.
They're doing really well. They're sixth in the league now, or seventh.
I think seven should be
Sixth,
seventh.
seventh. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now it's seventh again. We reached the cup final, which is a dream for every
I
supporter.
also
And
congratulate you for that. Yeah,
thank you.
no easy task.
I'm psyched. We're going to Rotterdam. Then against Feyenoord, which is always hard. But I have hope. It's like this is a really great NEC team. And what's I think is important to know is that I think in the last like 5 or 6 seasons of NEC, Matthias Ross would have played every single game. But this team is different. It's just I'm saying that. Yeah,
so you can say that quality has increased in the starting lineup.
And that's because we have Marcel Boekhorn, he's not the owner, but he's like this billionaire guy from Nijmegen, who invested a lot in the club, in the team, so the salaries went up, and you can get better players like Lasse Schöne, like Jasper Sillissen, the goalkeeper, who's also a Nijmegen born guy. I think he has a good future as a defender, but in my opinion, more for like a lower Eredivisie club, like a Dutch club. I don't see him in Galatasaray in coming years. To be quite fair, I think you have to be better than. As the team,
we're actually quite excited in his progress because a couple of years ago we found great success in another Danish center back who is Victor Nelson. So when he first came here, we were quite excited. Especially last year, he was part of the league winner lineup. But as a young player, he wasn't really contributing. He was not yet ready to have a steady form. So this year we're super excited to see like what he is doing in Nijmegen. Continuing from here, I would like to also ask you that when I see his stats, I see that in this beginning of the season, he was his role was more like a starter, but then it has reduced to a substitute. Can you expand upon that a little? It is like a coaching decision, like his decision on the center back decision is like he's trying to get like another profile in there, or is it mostly about the rookie mistakes and other things you talk about?
No, the rookie mistake isn't that a big. I mean, everybody does that. I just remember that it was unfortunate for him that he made a mistake that people were talking about, but I don't think anybody in Nijmegen is blaming him for lost games or anything. I just think when everybody's fit and they play the formation they want, he's just not part of the starting 11. That's just a fact, and I agree with that because Sandler is one of the best defenders in the Eredivisie. The stats may show otherwise for you because of conceding, but he's as a football player and a passer and an organizer in the back. He's you can't get around him. He's and I think he's kind of a local hero. Big guy, played in the Serie A in Italy for almost all his career, and he's back now. He's the substitute captain as well. But I know that the coach Rogier Meijer was experimenting with different formations in the beginning of the season. He had quite a lot of success also in the promotion season with a 5-3-2, so with 5 defenders, 3 central defenders. It's a pity for Matthias Ross that he didn't stuck with that, because then you need it, and then he would be perfect from one of the 3 central roles, I guess. But they always said that if possible, they wanted to go back to 4-3-3, and then they choose for like just 2 backs and the other 2 central backs, and then Matthias Ross just has to hope for an injury or what's the schorsing
as you can see.
Yeah, to be quite, especially now because they haven't lost a game for quite long. They made one mistake in a week, like they lost 2-0 to RKC, but that was the 3rd match in a week, and otherwise it's going great. He does make quite a lot of minutes because when they're ahead, they sometimes substitute like a striker for him just to not concede a goal, to defend, and especially against the big teams, Feyenoord, Twente, they just they play high balls into the penalty area, and then you just need big guys to clear the ball, defend, and in that role, he's perfect actually. And I think it's a nice guy as well, as he knows his role. I read an interview, and he wasn't frustrated about being benched. He got it. He understood it. He was happy with his progress. He also told that he was happy he is fit again. I don't know what his injury is right now, but he told in the interview that he was injured quite a bit in the previous season. So, and I think Eredivisie is then maybe also NEC is a good club to recover more than maybe a bit. I think Turkish football is quite hard.
It's
like tempo is
a lot more physical. Tempo is a little bit more physical, a lot more lower compared to Eredivisie, but it's a lot more physical. Like the duels you have, like shoulder to shoulder, it's a lot more harder for especially young players.
NEC is also the club of Kadioglu, Ferdi Kadioglu from Fenerbahce.
I know he's an academy player of yours.
It's amazing that he made a transformation into a Turkish league player and a Turkish national player. But that's what you need to play in that league, I guess. He's like so much bigger now and so much stronger, and he's a defender. It's amazing. So you need a lot to I think Galatasaray is a European sub-top, I guess. He needs. I don't know if he will reach that, to be quite fair. I mean, then he's 23, he should have been in the starting 11 of NEC Nijmegen. I think you agree. So, and about the last thing.
No problem.
It's with you ask about the stats of Sandler and conceding and stuff. I'm not aware of that stats. But when Sandler doesn't play, the team just plays worse. I mean, it's not a discussion in Nijmegen. But Sandler has a history of injury. So he told the coach at the beginning of the season, I can play 60, maybe 70 minutes a game. So you were 1-0 ahead, and he was just fit, and he got substituted for Ross anyway. Just because he's zuinig, what's the word? There was a plan for Sandler. They're cautious with his body, so that gives Ross some minutes as well. But Sandler just plays 90 minutes now. So
I think this is also related to the stats that when I look at the Ross's stats, I see that compared to the league, he was a little bit more, he had a steady form in the cup, and you were also in the finals of the cup. So what can you tell a little about what he showcased in the cup games? Because I see that it is also a name for the club to win the cup so that you can compete in the Europe, and in that Matthias Ross was contributing. What he was showing in those games.
The first 2 games in the cup was about against amateur teams. So then the second team plays, and he played. And I guess he did. I saw the games, but I guess, well, it's not a really defender's game, is it?
It wasn't a decisive game in the cup, so
every cup game is decisive, obviously. But so they give like the younger players a chance and stuff.
The coach makes a rotation,
right? And then he plays, and then the older players get rest and stuff, and so then he played and he contributed. I see that. They played against, let's see, so Veenendaal, it was 1-6. It's an amateur team, and it's not that. Against Roda he played. I saw that was a really spectacular game, 5-3. And Roda is 1 league lower, but he did. he did contribute, and I think if he's not injured anymore, and they come in, they score against Feyenoord, he will probably get substituted in to defend the voorsprong, the score.
Yeah, so you say instead of starting in the final, you think he will be as substitute during the game?
I hope so, because that will mean that NEC scores. Yeah, I did contribute, but when the games got more important in the cup, he was on the bench again. So against the Eredivisie teams, he didn't play, or he was a substitute, maybe sometimes. But I see against Roda, which was a fun game, he was part of the starting 11. But I see also that Sandler was injured back then. Yeah. So, yeah, he did contribute, but yeah, if it's on, he's not playing. That's just the hard truth.
So, before we close up the interview, I have some stats, which is about the Eredivisie, his contribution to the team in Eredivisie. I see that, as we spoke before, we know Eredivisie for high quality attacking players and also high tempo attacking plays against teams like which represent this mentality, teams like Twente, PSV, and Alkmaar. I see that he found some minutes, and in those big games, what did he saw in him? What did he showcased?
Yeah, I think you're right. They did quite well against those teams, which is surprising, because in the last seasons they didn't get a point against those teams. Not against the biggest, like Ajax, and now they do. I think he mainly comes in to defend lead, and I can only say he did that perfectly, because that's not totally true. Against Twente, he came in with 3-1 in front, and it was 3-3 at the end.
That's a little bit sad for his part.
It's a team effort, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I remember he also, maybe, I don't know if that's it, he made quite an important goal. But that wasn't on purpose. They just he just got the ball against his ear, and it went in. But
like being in the right time, in the right place, kind of thing.
Right. But he was in pain, because he didn't.
I can't.
Yeah. But just as an extra defender, I think he gets the tactics. He goes along with the other defenders quite well. He's strong. His headers are good. He doesn't do stupid stuff. He doesn't try stuff he can't do. He's quite a basic defender, basically. I think.
Who gets the job done? Who gets the tactics and like?
Yeah, if he wasn't in the team, you should substitute like a youth player or anything, and he's far better. He's just a strong, experienced guy he's 23, but he knows professional football. And he's a reliable substitute. That's basically it. And quite a good attacking header. With corners and stuff, he's going to the front.
So we can say that he
scored
has the
2,
instincts.
I guess. The instincts
to be in the right place and the right time to score the headers.
Yeah, I think that's
because he also has the height, and he's a strong player, as you said.
Yeah, I guess he made 2 goals. It's not that impressive, but he made a really important goal against Volendam. That was quite a spectacular match. He came in against Twente, and he scored a goal. And the next week he came in against Go Ahead Eagles and also scored a goal. So those were both draws. So that's quite nice.
So before
he got points for us. he
That's
earned
always
points.
remarkable.
Yeah,
That's always
yeah,
impressive. Like before we close the interview for the
yeah.
last verse, what can you tell us about like so far what you've seen about Ross, like in order to be a top level center back in the European level in Champions League or like Europa League or in the Turkish league, what can he develop on in order to be on those levels? Like what he showcased in
Uh,
terms of the sparks, like he showcased, like if he were to develop on this and that.
Tried to think about him last week because you asked me for the interview,
Yeah, yeah.
and I really believe that mentality and knowing what you can and what you can't do is really important. And there's a lot of defenders in the Eredivisie that are not that appreciated here and make it in Italy or in France or Portugal, that kind of, or maybe Turkey. And I think if I read the interviews and I see him play, he wants to improve. He knows his own qualities, and he has a plan, I guess. So that's good. I think he should focus on just being a real, like I think no. Well, I don't know if I mean, I'm not a football trainer, but I think his footballing abilities are not that impressive. His passing is not that secure. So yeah, every footballer should work on that, but that's a bit that's not, that's a bit disappointing or not that high level. But he's only 23. He has been a reliable player in this year's sub-top Eredivisie team. So he has a great future as a defender in those kind of leagues. Champions League level, to be quite fair, I don't see it. I don't think he has the talent or the abilities to be the first 11 player in Galatasaray. But I hope I'm wrong. I mean,
I will give you the details next season. If he does that, I will send you a DM.
With the goals and the cup in his hands, yeah. Will Galatasaray be like champions?
Well, I hope so. We're 2 points ahead. Fenerbahce, they're in the second position in the league, and we will play the derby in our stadium. So this gives us an advantage. So I hope so. Let's say I hope so.
Yeah. So yeah, but last thing about Ross, I think there's a lot of players also in the current NEC squad that we didn't expect much from, like Verdonk, the left wing back, who's playing an amazing season, and we didn't see that coming. And it's just about improving yourself and just being able to see what you have to work on. And I think he's better what he has to work on than I do. And in the interviews, he shows that mentality. So I could be surprised by him. But if you're looking for a really reliable Champions League defender for Galatasaray, I would look further.
Okay,
for next season.
Add this to my notes. Thank you so much for finding time for the interview, Thomas.
Yeah,
it was very
so
fun.
Cool to speak to you.
Yeah, it was super enjoyable also for me to speak with you.